Hey YouTube, it's basically anime. You know what chapter we got today? We have My Hero Academia chapter 286 for me to review slash react for you guys. Let me know what you guys gonna think is gonna happen in this chapter. If you're new to this channel, if you like anime content like this, remember to subscribe to the channel, turn on your post notifications so you get notified every time I post. And let's get into this fire chapter of My Hero Academia. Okay, so we started off as we left off in the last chapter as Deku is just staring at disbelief at what just happened to Bakugo. Blood is coming out of everywhere, as you guys know, as we left off. Bakugo jumped in front of Deku before All For One Shigaraki, or All For One possessed Shigaraki, kind of like sent these black tendrils or black knives, sort of, at Deku, which Bakugo blocked with his own body. As his voice fades and he's choking on blood, literally, he says, "Don't go playing hero by yourself." As All For One releases these tendrils or dissipates it as he drops to the floor, and Deku is still in shock and still in disbelief, as Deku is still levitating sort of in midair with the cork float. But Todoroki, coming in the clutch, grabs Bakugo and Endeavor, who also got stabbed by these black tendrils by All For One. Anyway, we see All For One struggling to talk. I guess it's a part of possession, still getting used to the body. He just says, "It's my," and this he just starts to cough. "This fight today has shed a lot of useless blood." Deku's like, "Useless blood?" As he just turns around to face Shigaraki, as Shigaraki sends all these new black tendrils straight at Deku again. But that just now had to be the most useless of all. Now, Deku, hearing this, is enraged. You guys, like, he just saw one of his, I wouldn't say, okay, fine, best friends jump in front of him in order to save him. And you see Shigaraki saying, what he did was useless. Like, I would not have done that. It did not matter. Deku's not taking this, as he thinks back to Mr. Iwaza, who just amputated his own leg. Gran Torino, who literally has a hole through his chest. And the Dragon Lady, who Dragon Lady's injured somehow. I don't remember how, but she's injured too. And he flashes back to one of the statements said to him during training, I guess. "If you act out of rage, your power will respond accordingly. The most important part is to keep your head clear." But what we see in the next panel, Deku's not caring about that, and he goes complete one for all rage mode as he charges at Shigaraki and bites on the black tendrils that were heading straight toward him, and he literally breaks it. "Take that back," he says, as he just rushes at him in midair, and he's about to deliver a finishing blow. But a line across Shigaraki's face appears. I'm assuming that he was able to land some sort of hit, but then we see in the next panel, we see All For One's face and Shigaraki's face. This is some quirk mental capacity thing. I think he hit him at first initially, but we also see how Deku was able to see All For One inside of Shigaraki. But in the next panel, we go back to the giant Makia and how he was about to unleash his rampage at the end of chapter 283, or yeah, I'm pretty sure 283, when the hero's like, hold up, he got past the other heroes in the rest of Class 1A and Class 1B. Either way, we go back to Sakura City, Osaka Prefecture. The massive villain, this is reporting on the news, the massive villain is rampaging through Saruo City with no signs of stopping. "Ah, run away, Granny, get away with there." As citizens try to get away, but Giant Omaki has not taken none of that and slams through everything that's in his path. As he says, "Master sent." There's two of them. So instead of doing the smart thing and going around, he legit rampages throughout the city to get to Shigaraki. You guys know Deku and Shigaraki are together. Imagine if Deku has to face Giant Makia. It's gonna be crazy. Okay, at the Jakku Suburban District, where we left off with the Big Three, or NG, Suyu, that guy who can talk to animals, Uraka, and Ida. Okay, the rest of the heroes that weren't with Class 1B are trying to evacuate. Anyway, the news continues to say, "Leave the instruction of the Jakku City residents." Okay, instruction of the Jakku City residents, please leave the residents to the rescue teams and police. The heroes will now be engaging with the villain. Our priority is, okay, I see that this is the hero's calm or whatever. Our priority is now rescuing villains as well as halting the enemy's advance. Those who are occupied with Shigaraki will not be aware of the situation, which is Deku, Bakugo, Shredder, Todoroki, Endeavor, Gran Torino, Dragon Lady, Manuel, and Rocklock. Okay, anyway, those who are occupied will not be aware of the situation. We cannot reach out to them due to the jam signal. Please inform them on foot. Okay, I'm guessing that Shigaraki is jamming the signal so that the other heroes can't really contact Deku and the rest of them facing Shigaraki. Either way, the leftover heroes that were not at the original forest site and were not with Deku are trying to stop Giant Tomakia. They say, let's go as fast as we can to save even one more life. We see the cooking, the comic hero, or the guy with the comic quirk from Class 1B. We see Ida, we see Enji, we see Sui, we see Uraka, and they're all just saying, let's just save even one more life. The situation isn't improving at all, Uraka says. Ever since back at that day, it's like when the sun sets and the shadows stretch even further. Guys, okay, yeah, she's thinking back. She's like this. The situation isn't improving at all. She's just saying ever since that day when they first met Shigaraki at the training, when they were doing their rescue training, it it's like when the sun sets and the shadow stretches even further. I guess this is just part of fan translations, and when the official translations come out, I guess we'll get what more of what she's trying to say. Either way, those two heroes are trying to save the citizen's life from Giant Tomaki's rampage. Either way, back to the fight. Shota Todoroki staring at disbelief. We don't know what he's staring at, but in the next panel, we see one of Shigaraki's fingers, or he's holding Deku's face in his palm as Todoroki screams, Midoriya! As Midoriya he's helpless. Shigaraki says, finally touch you. Now, one for all will be mine. But out of nowhere, in this black sort of dimension-like mental state, we see Deku, and similar to what we saw him in the season 4 finale, he's covered by black, and I'm guessing this is just the one for all for one mindscape. He says displace. As he stares on the other side, he sees Shigaraki, and he's just saying, get out, don't get closer. No, that's all for one. As we see all for one in this mental mindscape, we see all for one holding on to Shigaraki. This is some sort of possession we see. Even if you say so, he says, Tamura, if I hadn't lent you my power, you would be burned to a crisp. And even if you survive that, wouldn't a fall from this height mean certain death? So I'm guessing that Deku is using the one for all mindscape to see Shigaraki getting possessed, and all for one is lending his power to Shigaraki. That's the whole reason why he's even standing a chance right now. And Shigaraki is saying, in this mindscape, shut your trap already. I already told you, Sensei. This is my path, my dream. Deku is staring at this in disbelief as all of a sudden he gets dragged away, and somebody says, behind Deku says, you still can't move in this world. As we see Nana Shimura behind Deku saying, but we will do something about that. This chapter was, not gonna lie, pretty good. I mean, it wasn't as long. I wouldn't say this video won't be as long as the last one, but this chapter was pretty good. We saw Nana Shimura, and I've been wanting to see her in the manga and the anime for a while now. We also got to take a look at the mindscape that they were in. We now know that it's not only like a one for all mindscape, but an all for one mindscape too. We saw that in the season 4 finale, but I love that we got to see a part of it again. I just like any kind of one for all for one quirk action. I hope that in the next chapter, some of these things happen. Sort of like, okay, I want to see the remainder of Class 1A and the rest of the UA students against Giant Tomakia, even though they're gonna get clapped. But I also would want to see the remainder of them still in the cities, evacuating citizens, confront Giant Tomakia. Another thing I would also like to see is more of this mindscape. I want to see the status of Aizawa. I'm pretty sure they froze off his like stump, and I want to see the status of Gran Torino. Also want to see the status of Endeavor and Bakugo. We didn't get to see the cursed power concept we didn't see the cursed power concept get elaborated. The concept that was first mentioned by Shota Todoroki, but I guess he's injured. He can't talk. He's choking on his own blood. Either way, this chapter was pretty good. I give it a 9 out of 10. I wouldn't give it a 10 out of 10 just because. Actually, I would give that a 10 out of 10. Shigaraki finally got what he wanted in a long time. I want to see if Shigaraki actually managed to steal One for All, and I would also want to see what would happen if One for All was in a villain's hand. But overall, let me know what you guys thought about this chapter. I really liked it. It wasn't my best chapter, I would say. We did get to see one of the predecessors. But overall, it was pretty good. Yeah, so this is the end of the video. Let me know any other anime or manga you guys should think I should read or possibly review for you guys. If you're new to this channel, if you like anime content like this, remember to subscribe to this channel for more of My Hero Academia, anime, and manga related content. I should be posting another review on another few chapters today or so, so make sure you go stick around for that. And feel free to tune in for more.